Good afternoon, class. For today's lesson, I think we're going to have a look at Transformers Beast Wars Transmetal Cheetor. We're going to look at him in his cheetah mode. Colors that were, fell right out of the show. So we've got the gold body for most of it, the gray and the green for the accents on his arms and legs. His feet here are green. One thing actually I like about the cheetah mode is that you can't really see any of the robot bits, which is kind of nice. I mean, if we look underneath, clearly they're there, but right now we can't, which is kind of nice. And just in case we forgot, his name is Cheetor. We've got that there on the side. Can we see that? I don't know what that's about. Got a little bit of movement here. We can move his front legs, all around, and we've got some joints here to help position him. The back legs, not quite as much. Tail doesn't move at all, but we'll deal with that in a second. And the head, really, actually, it's not really supposed to move, but I keep kind of adjusting it. Now, like all the Transmetals, they're kind of big thing. Besides the fact that they were supposed to look more robotic in their beast mode and then more animal-like, I suppose, in their robot mode, was that they all had a extra form or a vehicle capability. I think it's because they got tired of the fact that the Maximals and Predacons just ran around and it took forever and they needed to get places more quickly. So what Cheetor can do is we can open up the sides here and we can flip these out and voila, he's a cat with wings. And I guess these would be like little jet thrusters, and as we all remember from the show, he took off and he flew and he couldn't control it and he hit what, rat trap or something, and hilarity ensued. And okay, that was awesome. Yeah, okay. So we'll put these back. There we have Cheetor in his beast mode. So we can transform him. He's a deluxe size figure, so it's not going to take too much to do. We're just going to fold these legs down. We're going to get rid of that. We're going to pull apart his head, and we're going to shift the whole torso of the leg with the legs backwards. Can we see what I'm doing there? Fold the legs in a little bit. There we go. I think this was the best form for Cheetor. I tended to really get into Beast Wars around the time of the Transmetals, so I'm a little bit biased. I thought the first one wasn't bad. Third form was horrible. But his second form was excellent. So there we go. One of the other things I liked about this particular Cheetor, it wasn't the typical, the front arms of the cat became the arms of the robot and the back legs became the back legs, even though they do here. They changed it up a little bit. Unfortunately, the front legs of the cat and part of the back become kind of a backpack for him. But it is a little bit different, which is nice. Instead of kind of the standard, the cat's head is right here, and the front legs become his arms and all that kind of stuff. There is Cheetor. Again, looks pretty close like he fell out of the show, which is excellent. Well, they changed the face a little bit. Colors are excellent. We can still see some of the original colors from his cheetah mode, so the kind of greenish color here, the gray. Not as much gold, we can't see as much of that, even though it's on his back. But we've got the yellow that we're used to, and of course the cheetah spots. In his hands that are really kind of screwed up looking, with the underside being the cat's head. Whoops. Now in terms of articulation, we are going to be able to rotate that head around and move it up and down a little bit. His shoulders are on ball joints, so we can move them around. You notice I'm holding the chest plate. Sometimes I accidentally pull that up when I'm trying to move things around. The elbow is on another ball joint, so we have a fair bit of motion there. We can rotate the waist all the way around, which is excellent. The legs are on ball joints, but they don't move as much, and it's just because of this part here. It just can't go up as high. But we still have a pretty good range of movement. His knee bends. There's no rotation, unfortunately, and really if we want to, we can bend the leg back here, but we won't do that too often. And the feet, the pieces of the feet move independently, forwards and back, if we so desire. Like the other Transmetals, he's a little more, I want to say, animal-like in this form. We can see on his chest, besides the spots, we can see it looks like there's fur there. Same with on his hands. And like the other Transmetals, he has no gun to speak of. Again, for at least the first wave, for whatever reason, they decided they all needed melee weapons instead of projectile weapons of some form. So Cheetor's tail becomes kind of a whip kind of thing with a really nasty spike here on the end, and he did use it in his first appearance as a Transmetal, and I think he used it once or twice more. Not very often, but it does look kind of cool. I don't know, that hook looks like it could be nasty if he ripped someone open with it. And again, like the other Transmetals, the writers decided Cheetor needs to have some way to shoot people. So what they did, and you can kind of create the effect with the figure, since the shoulders, oh, we're losing our focus, can pop forward, just to kind of give an idea of what he used to do. Let's see if I can do this. It's going to look kind of funny as I'm doing it this way, but if you're looking at it straight on, we get kind of the idea. He used to put his arms together to form the cat's head, and he would basically shoot from his hands. And that's how he would shoot. His projectile attacks came from the head of the cat, which were his hands, and that's how he would shoot guys in the show. Now from the side, obviously it looks crazy, but from the front we can kind of get that effect, but that's what that was. This is probably my favorite Cheetor figure. I know they did lots of Cheetor figures during the Beast Wars era, and then one or two more in Beast Machines, which were horrible, because the whole premise was horrible. This one, I mean, I know there was at least one repaint floating around, part of the Universe line back in the day, where they made it black and, purple and orange, and the plastic was really crappy, which I should point out, the plastic is solid on this. This figure is 10 years old, it's had some shelf life, display time, etc., and all the joints are still in really good shape. Like, it is a quality figure that way. If I was going to give this figure a grade, you know what? Cheetor here gets an A. I have to say it. It's one of the few Transformers I give an A to that's not an Optimus Prime, but I really like this Transmetal Cheetor. This one gets displayed quite often, just because I think it's really cool. If you can see this one, I don't know if you'd see it on eBay, but, you know, at the occasional toy show or geek convention or whatever it is, you might see it. And I don't know how much they go for, but even now I'd be tempted to pick it up, well, if I didn't already have one, because I think it is an excellent figure. Some decent posability. But I think that is going to be our lesson on Transmetal Cheetor. As I said, if you see him, I think he'd be worth picking up. But otherwise, class dismissed, and have a good evening.